So you finish chopping them up into smaller, more manageable sized pieces, and you're already nearing the point of exhaustion. After all, it's a lot more work than you had anticipated. You only needed to chop them up a little bit, but you were feeling excited in the moment and hacked them to pieces. You may be looking around and seeing just how much more work there is left to do, and are now beginning to feel a sense of panic. Now is not the time for panic, however, because the panic came at the start of your day, before the bunch became the mess of parts and pieces that lay before you. No, now is the time to breathe. Of course you knew you weren't done yet, and you know there's really not that much left to do. No, wait. There's still all the mixing and baking and cleaning and... Just wait a minute. Again, now is the time to just breathe. You've made it this far, and you should acknowledge and enjoy your accomplishment. Begin now by taking a deep breath in and hold it. As you hold in the air, imagine a tranquil place. Everything is peaceful and serene. Nothing can invade your bubble. You're relaxing and feeling calm. You begin seeing the pretty colors swirling like a kaleidoscope. Your eyes begin closing, and everything is void of light. Now as you begin passing out, you might ask yourself why you just didn't breathe out. Surely you didn't need the narrator of our story to tell you. No, of course not. You are wise, and you've done this thousands of times, obviously. Come on now. So, as you come to, you tell yourself what a terrible idea that was. You were in the middle of doing something. Ah, yes, you remember. You just chopped up the pieces. Now, you are amazing, and you got this. And no, now you mustn't worry. You're fully committed to this, and you still have time before the day has yet to start. So, did you remember to turn the oven on? You begin reaching for the temperature knob, or button if your stove is newer. For our story, we will be using a knob. As you extend your arm and gently but firmly grasp the knob, you begin thinking of the number 375. It's not too high, but not too low. You steadily turn the knob to the number in your mind and release. With every second now, you're feeling better and better. The oven is now heating. Perhaps you feel like taking another deep breath and hold, but you quickly remember how that worked last time, and you think to yourself, surely you must just get through this. There's no time for breathing. So, back to the task at hand. You slowly begin to realize you don't have any of the other ingredients out and ready to mix. You got so ahead of yourself looking to chop all the parts into pieces, you forgot the rest of the ingredients. Do not worry yourself. You got this. So, you find, measure, and combine in a large mixing bowl 1.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, 1 cup mini chocolate chips, and a dash of salt. Mixing with a wooden spoon, you see the mixture becomes fluffy, and you realize now that it is time to add the butter. But having forgotten the night before to take the unsalted butter out of the freezer so you could mix in the softened butter, you now instead put 1 1/4 sticks of the butter into a bowl and microwave it until it becomes liquid. Satisfied the butter is melted enough, you then pull it back out of the microwave. You then find the bag of sugar, and using your measuring cup, Scoop and add a third cup and add to the large mixing bowl. You also know everything tastes way better with light brown sugar, so you add a third cup as well to the already mixed ingredients. A tiny second later, you add the now liquefied butter. A short, calming sense of relief comes over you as you realize you've made it this far. If you were exhausted before, you may be feeling wiped out by now. However, you need to erode those thoughts away. Instead, you think maybe everything will be alright. Of course it will. You got this. Now that you've got the ingredients thus far in the bowl, and unbeknownst to why, you feel a sense of longing to touch the mixture with your bare hands. Oh, what it would feel like to stick your hands in the mixture. You slowly dip your hands in the mix. You begin crushing and turning and kneading the mixture. You feel how the ingredients begin to combine and squish together. You also feel how hot the butter really is as it begins to burn your hands. Perhaps it wasn't necessary to mix with your hands after all. Deep breath, hold, and walk to the sink. You release the breath this time and rinse your hands in cold water to soothe the burns. Feel now the cold water as it cools your skin. Your hands go suddenly from burning to freezing now within seconds. The sensation is so relaxing, and your hands become somewhat numb for a few seconds before the burning sensation comes back again. Yes, this has been somewhat rough so far, but you must move on and not let this stop you. You're so close. You now remember you need 1 large egg and 2 teaspoons vanilla to add and combine to the mix. So, with your burnt hands, you reach into the fridge, grab an egg, and head back to the mixing bowl. The cool fridge feels so good on your hands, by the way. So you finish combining the egg and vanilla to the rest of the ingredients, and you now realize the mix is nearly perfect, and you can now prepare for the final act, the baking. You now have a sense that you can actually do this. You're so close. Now, you mustn't forget the pieces you've chopped either. Remember, you've hacked and chopped and sliced and baked seemingly 100,000 times, and every time with the utmost skill and precision. You now use your burnt hands to pick up the cutting board and pour the parts and pieces into the bowl with the mixture. You tell yourself the chunks and pieces are chopped just right, and they add just the right texture as you begin preparing the mix to lie out on the 2 baking sheets. So, you gently scoop the mixture and place each spoonful on the baking sheets, spacing them 2 inches apart. Each circular dab looks perfect. Never mind the mess everywhere, you've made it. You only need to open the oven and put the baking sheets in the oven, one first, then the second after the first comes out, and remembering to set the timer each time, of course. You contemplate the time, but you feel 8 to 10 minutes per baking sheet is just right. Now is a good time to take another well-deserved breath. You breathe in, hold, and release. You're not passing out this time. You feel a sense of calm wash over you now, and you can almost rest. As the timer goes off, you reach in the oven with your hot pad and pull the tray out and set it on the hot pad on the counter. 1 more sheet and you've made it. So, now you're done baking the cookies, taking them out of the oven and place them on a tray to cool. The sweet, sugary smell is amazing. You allow yourself another deep breath before tasting your confectionery. You then pick one up and take a bite, swallow, and immediately begin to go into anaphylactic shock. Your face and throat swell, and you realize at that moment that those pieces you chopped were walnuts and you're highly allergic. So as you gradually die a little more with each passing minute, you curse your bad memory. But you admire just how simple the recipe was, and also just how perfect and good these chocolate chip cookies are.